Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Now if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most, including my top play in college hoops each day, my Bank Shot Best Bet, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Wednesday in college hoops. First up, we have Ole Miss and South Carolina. This one is 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on the SEC Network. I got to say, I don't love this Wednesday card in college basketball from a betting perspective. I'll be treading lightly. Just don't see a lot of great value opportunities. But when you look at this game, I think we're getting a really good price with the home team because South Carolina's record on paper, they're 10-13 overall. They're 0-10 in conference play. They're still 78th, though, in KenPom. And it goes to show you just how strong this SEC conference is this year. 78th in KenPom for South Carolina would put them in the middle of the pack right now in the ACC or some of the other power conferences. So just because they are 0-10, it's obviously disappointing conference schedule this far, doesn't mean the Gamecocks are a bad team by any means. And I do think that they match up well in this game. Now, the turnover battle, I think, will definitely be won by Ole Miss by a pretty good margin in this ball game. But I think South Carolina has an advantage at the free throw line. I think they'll also have a rebounding advantage on both ends of the court in this game. And shot quality wise, I do think South Carolina is solid. Not the worst team in the SEC by any means. I think South Carolina playing at home, getting a good price is the way to go in this one. So I'm going to go with the Gamecocks plus the points and on the money line. Next up, we'll go to the Big 12 as Oklahoma State takes on TCU. This one's also 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on CBS Sports Network. Now, Oklahoma State's been playing great competitive basketball lately. Another win in their last game against Arizona State. They covered against Houston. They beat Utah. They're in great form right now. And while TCU is a very good home team, a team is tough to go against when they're playing at home, I still can't go against the Cowboys right now in their current form. I mean, they in their last game against Arizona State had 6 different double-digit scorers in that ball game, scoring 86 points. The offense especially has just been a new-look team. I mean, this team just looks a lot better than where we saw them at the very beginning of conference play. They're making their shots from two-point range, and the mid-range jumpers are starting to fall. And, I mean, when you look at this team fundamentally, they do struggle with the turnovers on the offensive side. They have lost the ball about 20% of their possessions, but they're a great rebounding team. They force a lot of turnovers. They get to the free throw line. Their free throw shooting has gotten a lot better. I got to go Oklahoma State in this one plus the points, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them win another game in conference play. Next up, we'll go to VCU and George Washington in the A-10. This one's also 7 p.m. Eastern. I think this is actually a good matchup for George Washington. It's tough to go against VCU. They've been one of the better teams in this conference. But George Washington does a few things that I think benefits them in this game. Now, the one concern would be the turnovers. VCU, very aggressive defense. George Washington at times has had issues taking care of the basketball. But in other facets of this game, I think George Washington has the upper hand. First of all, VCU really relies on the three-point jumper. They score about 37% of their points from three-point range overall this season, about 37% of their points in conference games as well. For George Washington, that's actually not too concerning because this is a great three-point defense, one of the best not just in the conference but in the country. They only give up 30% of their points from threes, and they have a 30.3% three-point defense. So I think VCU's offense is actually going to be a little bit uncomfortable in this game. Then you look at the defense for VCU, a team that does give up a majority of its points at the free throw line, and that benefits a George Washington team that gets to the line a ton. Their free throw shooting as a team has been inconsistent, but it's still above 70% as a team. I think if the Revolutionaries can get to the line 20-plus times, they have a very good chance at the outright upset in this one. So I'm going to go George Washington plus the points and a sprinkle on the money line in this game. Next up, we have Southern Illinois and Bradley. This one is going to be 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, Bradley struggled in this role recently in terms of the second meeting of the season series, the other team playing with revenge. We saw Bradley win games over Illinois, Chicago, and Belmont in January, and then drop those games in their most recent conference games on January 29th and February 5th. One of those was a blowout loss to Illinois, Chicago. The other one a close game to Belmont. But now we have another situation where Bradley's playing at home. The other team's playing with revenge, and really Southern Illinois is in much better form compared to Bradley right now. I mentioned I think Bradley, was overrated at the beginning of conference play. I still think they are at this current record and this current price, as the spread for me is way too steep. And Southern Illinois may have lost that first game of the season series in blowout fashion, but that was at the very beginning of conference play. The Salukis were 0-5 at one point in conference action, but since then they've been a completely different team. I mean, they've won 7 of their last 9 conference games. They're 7-7 now, even in Missouri Valley Conference play. And like I said, I think the team is in much better form. I think they're the better team overall from a shot quality perspective. I think they have a big advantage on the glass in this game. I'm going to go with the Salukis in this one. I think they at least cover the number, if not pull off the outright upset. Next up, it's Presbyterian and Charleston Southern. This one is 7:30 Eastern. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, I like Charleston Southern in this game. They're playing at home with revenge. They're the team that's in much better form. I think they match up well. The fact that the Bucks do a great job at getting to the free throw line, while Presbyterians had issues taking too many fouls on the defensive side. And when you add to the fact that Charleston Southern, this was a team we took in the middle of January because they were losing games in conference play, but they were really playing competitive basketball against some of the better teams in the Big South Conference. They forced triple overtime against Winthrop on the road. They only played a 5-point loss at Longwood at the beginning of conference play. We saw them then get revenge over Longwood in their home game on February 1st. They have the win against Gardner-Webb. That was actually a season series sweep over the Bulldogs in that last game. They're in great form, and I think they're a dangerous team in this Big South Conference. They're obviously not going to be favored to win the conference, but a dark horse that I think could pull, make a run in this tournament. So I'm going to go with Charleston Southern in this game as well. I think that they get their revenge in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Wednesday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, including that bank shop best bet in college hoops, you can find that at Pickdawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.